Game 2, 9th-ranked Nashville follows the girls' lead. The Hornets made the girls' Elite 8. Nashville making their 4th trip to state in the last 9 years. And they stir up a hornet's nest all right. They get number 1 Hales Franciscan. The 2003 state champs return to Peoria after a 1-year hiatus.
And we are back at America's original March Madness. It's Hales Franciscan, number 1 in the state, going up against Nashville. Seneca is already in the semifinals, and these two teams would like to meet them there tomorrow for the call of our second quarterfinal. Let's go to our announcers for today's game, Jim Albrecht and Matt Taphorn.
Thank you very much, Lee. It's great to be back for another chapter of March Madness. I'm Jim Albrecht, and yes, he's still taller than I am, Matt Taphorn. We play this thing in Peoria, have done it for 10 years, Matt, but the road runs through Chicago recently.
Absolutely. We had Hales Franciscan, the champion, here 2 years ago. Last year, Chicago Leo, led by Frank Clare, and Hales Franciscan back again this year. Missed out on an opportunity to come last year, but have something to prove once again this year.
Taking a shot at Hales Franciscan first up will be, of course, Nashville. They had a scare against Redbud, and they pretty much moved through everything until Steelville. That's another tight final, and then, of course, the super sectional win over Weber. Now, when you take a look at this team, they've got some balance, of course. Hales Franciscan, Chicago Jones gave them a scare, and then, of course, they kind of rode their way to Peoria on the strength of all that great balance inside and outside. When you take a look at the Hornets of Nashville, they have balance, as I said, but the kid that leads them, his name is O'Rear, but he's to the front of the class.
Yeah, Lucas O'Rear is only a sophomore, but at 6'6", leads the team in scoring at nearly 18 points a ball game. He's their top rebounder. He's really going to need to have a great game today to offset some of the size that he's going to face in Hales Franciscan.
And everybody knows about Nate Manoy, of course, but this guy is like man-child squared for Hales Franciscan. Unbelievable.
Well, people in Peoria are going to recognize him as a guy who might remind them of Sergio McLean. He also averages about 18 points a game, 6'4", 265, a wide body inside. He's definitely the leader for this ball club.
So let's take a look at what Nashville has to do. First thing is, don't let him get up and down the court.
Without question, in a game like this, you've got to avoid giving them some easy baskets. They also have to do a great job on the boards, and they've done a great job recently of limiting the opponent to only 31% from the field. They got to keep up that defensive intensity.
And of course, for Hales Franciscan, Gary London just pounds 2003 back in their heads. Hey, you did it once, let's do it again.
Absolutely. They remember that. They've got 3 players that are on that team that saw considerable minutes. They want to get that taste once again. Using the 5th gear, they have to step it up, attack constantly during the ball game, and spread the scoring wealth. They did a great job of that in the super sectional. See if they can repeat that in this ball game.
And chances are we might see a few dunks today.
I would imagine so.
Hales Franciscan and Nashville. Let's go to our PA announcer, Paul Herzog, for the lineups.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness for Class A boys 2005. In this quarterfinal contest features the Hornets of Nashville, a record of 28-5, and Chicago Hales Franciscan Spartans, a record of 27-4. Let's meet the teams. For Nashville, 6'2" sophomore, 5, Blaine Morris. 5'11" junior, 11, Stephen Price. 5'10" junior, Todd Kostecki. 5'10" junior, 32, Blake Hatton. 6'3" sophomore, 41, Dylan York. And a 6'5" sophomore, 50, Ryan Keller. Let's meet the Spartans of Hales Franciscan. Wearing number 40, 6'3" junior, Courtney Coleman. 5'9" sophomore, number 10, Rashad Vavale. 5'8" senior today, wearing number 12, Darius Melcher. 6'2" senior, 15, Shannon Yerger. 6-foot sophomore, 20, Ryan Bass. Number change to 55, a 6'2 sophomore, Jonathan Reddick. Today wearing number 25, a 6'6 senior, Evan McCrimmon. And a number change to 5, a 6'1 sophomore, Andre Debonnet. 6'3 freshman, 34, Matthew Humphrey. Now let's meet the starting lineups for today's quarterfinal contest. For Nashville, a 5'10 senior guard, 14, Clint Hari. For Hales Franciscan, a 5'8 junior guard, 3, Jerome Mirando. At center for the Hornets, a 6'6 sophomore, 44, Lucas O'Rear. At a forward for the Spartans, a 6'8 senior, 21, Jeff Wilson. Another forward for Nashville, a 6'5 senior, 21, Andrew Wilson. And a forward for Hales Franciscan, a 6'7 senior, 14, Austin Chapatal. At a forward for the Hornets, a 5'11 senior, 23, Scott Voorhees. At a guard for the Spartans, a 5'10 senior, 23, Michael Robinson. The remaining forward for Nashville, a 6'4 senior, 45, Calvin O'Rear. At a guard for the Spartans of Hales Franciscan, a 6'4 senior, 33, Nate Minoy. Coaching Nashville in his 16th year, 14 for the Hornets, a record of 323 and 104, Darren Lee. Coaching in his 6th season at Hales Franciscan, a record of 124 and 49, Gary London. Assistant coaches for Nashville, Neil Harmon, C.J. Cruiser, Matt Gajewski, and Kelly Cruiser. Assistant coaches for Hales Franciscan.
Are you ready for another quarterfinal game? The first one, of course, if you're just tuning in, went to Seneca 45-39. And now we go to today's presenter, Diana Anderson, Director of Sales and Marketing of In Play. Jamal Brackton, Matt Taphorn here, and of course, good crowd today, Matt. Very good crowd.
Yeah, it's always fun to see these small town teams come into the Civic Center. It seems like they bring their whole town with them, and a lot of excitement fills the arena. Hales Franciscan, on the other hand, may bring only a handful of players, but they'll certainly do their talking on the floor.
And of course, when you try to compare quickness, when you're looking at Hales Franciscan, Nashville obviously has played Murfreesboro, and they're just as quick, but not quite as tall. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Chapital, Wilson, Randall, Robinson, and Minoy. It's Wilson, Voorhees, O'Rear, a pair of them, brothers, and of course, Hari at one of the guards for Nashville. One of these two teams will play on the last day of the Class A season. The other will go home talking what if. And quickly, of course, the other way goes Robinson off the glass and doesn't get it. But you can see the quickness right off the bat as Minoy puts it back home. And
that's the thing that's so surprising about Minoy. He's very quick, runs the floor well. You saw how quick he got to that ball and got up and at the basket in a hurry.
265 pounds of talent. Driving his O'Rear. Got too much, but his brother puts it back up and in. That is the sophomore, Lucas O'Rear.
And you saw Lucas O'Rear go over the top of Jeff Wilson. Wilson 6'8", 220 inside to help Minoy for Hales. That time Lucas O'Rear showed no hesitation going up after that offensive board.
4 of these starters for Hales Franciscan average in double figures. Their guards can shoot like that one, in and out. Randall missed it. And down with it comes Nashville as Clint Hari, who guides the offense, kicks it off to the senior O'Rear.
That's Calvin O'Rear out there on the perimeter, taking Minoy twice to the basket, now a third time.
Again, it goes to his brother as they kick it out. Now, Wilson is a shooter, number 21 for Nashville. If he can get hot, that will really help Nashville's cause.
He's taken more than half of the three-point shots.
that Nashville has attempted on the season, and really their most effective weapon from the perimeter.
Down low to Lucas. Count it.
There's a great high-low combination by the brother tandem. Calvin to Lucas O'Rear inside.
Now, Jerome Randall saw time in that championship game 2 years ago. The young man with the ball got a bucket on the night. Robinson, who has it now, also played in that game as he slashes to the hole, out of control, charge.
And again, that's really what Nashville is going to have to do to extend their opportunity in this state tournament series, is really play defense well.
Mr. Knopf, Weiss, and Irvin are in charge of things on the floor today. Glad you're joining us on the IHSA television network. Some great weekends down here in Peoria over the years. And O'Rear did not catch Wilson coming from behind him, but now Chapel loses it. Hales Franciscan controls. Robinson, he will just press the issue all day long.
Really surprising to see Lucas O'Rear at 6'6", bringing the ball down the floor against Wilson. And Wilson created the turnover, knocked away from behind.
Manoy's been working on his outside shot. He gets nothing but air. Here comes Nashville on the run. It's O'Rear down low and out of bounds as Forries could not handle the pass. They ran the floor well, though.
No, and again, early in the ball game, nerves might be a bit of an issue, but O'Rear doing a great job of running the floor.
Take a look at those enrollments. 492 for Hales, 547 for Nashville. And we all know Chicago's a pretty Big Ten. Manoy, speaking of big, spins. Again air. Rebound Nashville. So Hales Franciscan, the last time they were here, Matt, they came out cold in the quarterfinal game. And Coach London was afraid of that. This shot is rejected by Wilson. Jeff Wilson, who has improved leaps and bounds over the course of just one season. Randall, nicely done. Manoy, yeah!
That's that big body of Manoy coming down the paint. Great job by Randall, recognizing the big fella's trailing the play. Just gets his body into his defender.
There's touch and there's touch.
Well, he does such a great job. Watch the body. He draws the contact, flips it up off the rim. Nice soft touch inside. 4 points in the ball game now for Manoy.
In the super sectional against Lyle Sr., this man had 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals, and his free throw is home as the Spartans take the lead back 5-4.
I don't know if we've mentioned yet, Manoy's going to Purdue next year.
Yes,
so
indeed.
They were down a little bit in the Big Ten this year. Illini fans will be interested to see him next year on the floor.
Wide open is Wilson. He missed everything. I think we got some jitters going on, but Luke O'Rear's not nervous. He put it right back off the glass.
Yeah, typically in these games, especially early on, you see more baskets being scored inside than on the perimeter. Once you get in the flow of the ball game, the outside shooters tend to find their touch and get the depth perception of this arena and are able to knock down some of those shots.
Only 5'8". Randall's not afraid to go inside.
Now, Randall's an exciting player. I remember him from 2 years ago as well in this tournament. He's very good, very effective off the dribble, and his size is not an issue out there on the floor.
Speaking of size, the man with the basketball now, Luke O'Rear, only a sophomore, as you know by now, but 220 pounds, 6'6", still with more room to grow. Here's an air, and that turnover will come down to Randall, who tries to beat everybody but does not, as he's called for too many steps. But again, that's Franciscan style. They're going to force it. We've got a timeout on the floor. We're early. Hales and Nashville, a 1 point separation. We're back after these local messages. Welcome back. They're hyped up at the Carver Arena in Peoria, the Peoria Civic Center, and we're almost midway through the first quarter. I'm Jim Albrecht, along with, of course, Matt Taphorn. We've got more basketball for you tonight. Tipping off at 6:30, Liberty versus Eureka. Then Winnebago takes on Breeze Central. Those last two teams know about state trips. They've been here a couple times recently.
Half the field in this tournament series in the Final 8 have been down here recently. And we can see that Nashville over the last 10 years or so has been here a few times, and they've got a nice looking team this year.
Forries from the side, too much rim, and Manoy says that's mine. Voorhees won't shoot a lot. He only averages about 4 points, but he'll take the open shot. Robinson always takes the open shot. Oh, man.
He didn't hesitate that time. Robinson put it right through the net.
Robinson was injured earlier in the year, and of course he came back after a short layoff. First thing he did, fire up a three-pointer from about 3 feet beyond the arc. Nothing but net. Wilson trying to get untracked. O'Rear grabs that rebound. Wide open out front is Hari.
Great job that time by Nashville. Get the rebound and kick it out. More often than not, when you get that rebound, offensive rebound inside, the defense is collapsed and gives you opportunities.
Feed. Oh, man. What a feed to Wilson.
I tell you, Jerome Randall does a great job of setting the table. That time he just gave it to Wilson in the right moment. Defensive man helped out, and strong to the basket goes Wilson. And see Calvin O'Rear fouling him from behind. Caught a piece of the arm, but Randall just does such a great job of getting his teammates involved.
And if Luke O'Rear doesn't come over, then Randall just takes it to the rack. He's got no choice. He's got to go after the ball. Free throw not there as Hales falls back on defense, leading by 3. Jeff Wilson will go out front and play defense, as you can see right now. O'Rear goes down low. That should be good, and it is. To Calvin O'Rear, who averages 8 points a game, his game high for the season, 29. Randall not about to stop, almost lost it. He's so low to the floor, it's hard to get that thing off his palm.
And Hari's really got his hands full trying to keep him out of the paint, and really that's where he creates most of the offensive opportunities.
Chapital from outside. He's the only guy that doesn't average in double figures, but he's 6'7", 185. Here's a steal almost by Wilson. Gathering it back is O'Rear, and he goes out of bounds. So it is a turnover created by the D of Jeff Wilson.
And I'm not sure I understand this strategy by Nashville to have Lucas O'Rear bring the ball down the floor. First of all, you get a situation where you get your big guy away from the basket, and it seems like he's really struggling out there. Jeff Wilson does a great job defensively in the open court.
And you saw that state championship, of course, for Nashville. They still talk about that there.
Yeah, it was in 1978 against good buddy of mine's team, the Havana Ducks.
You got it. Bob Bogle, the coach back then. You just saw Robinson give the head fake and get the alley to the glass. And Wilson this time called for reaching in. Yeah, they're having the O'Rears bring it up, not the guards, Hari and Voorhees. But maybe that's because they think, at least Coach Darren Lee thinks, their guards are too quick defensively. Hales Franciscan, of course. State champs just 2 years ago. Barred from tournament play last year because of a rules violation. So Chicago Leo picked up the pace.
You know, Calvin O'Rear does a great job of handling the ball. Their top assist man for the season. And having him bring the ball down the floor against Jeff Wilson makes a little more sense than having the younger brother do that job.
Wilson needs it, gets it. Andrew Wilson finds the net for the first time tonight. Number 50, Ryan Keller in the ball game for Nashville, as we're knotted with 1:30 remaining in the opening quarter.
Wilson much more comfortable that time with the ball. Was off on his first couple of shots. But as you mentioned before, you go along the ball game to get a better feel for the arena.
Wide open is Randall. Not there. Tipped around. Manoy with that great body says, I'll just go inside and score. He's just bumping people
Fans
around.
wanted a foul against Manoy that time. He really cleared out Calvin O'Rear that time and just does a great job of getting the second chance opportunities, getting off the ground in a hurry. And again, he's such a wide body in there. It's hard to get around him defensively.
Darren Lee, the coach, of course, of Nashville, had that exact conversation with the official just about 10 feet from me. Steal up top. Here's the foot race, and you know who's going to win it, Mr. Randall. Jerome Randall.
And that was caused by the defensive pressure that Randall was really putting on Hari that time. And Hari is forced to make a bad pass, coming up with a steal and easy transition basket. We said at the open, that's the thing that Nashville needed to avoid.
Let's see if they wait here with 30 seconds remaining, or if they give Hales Franciscan another shot. Ooh, a dangerous place to be, but getting out of there with it is Scott Voorhees. Here's Hari. Nope, and they're going to give him another chance with 20 seconds remaining. Hales up by 4, and they're going to take the last shot of the quarter. Hales Franciscan has lost only 4 times this year, and they have lost to powerhouses. Randall in and out. And that's the way the first quarter will come to a close. Nashville stuck with them pretty good, Matt.
Yeah, they really just need to keep them in front of them defensively, not get those easy baskets, and really keep Nate Manoy under control.
This IHSA basketball broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And by AGCO. You have got to drive one. You talk about the heartbreak kids. Nashville's been down here in the quarterfinals, 97, 98, 2000, and they played well in every quarterfinal game but walked away losers each time. So they know how this game is played as far as the hurts and the triumphs. So we're underway here in the second quarter as O'Rear backs in about 14 feet away, spins it, hits it. Man, Luke O'Rear, if that's a sophomore, well, I'm 6'8".
Well, and that's where you get him where he's most effective, back inside. Get him in on the block, and he's really gotten every opportunity. He's 4 out of 4 in the paint.
And the thing you love about Nate Manoy, besides his size and his agility, number 33 with the ball right now, is that he doesn't force a lot of plays.
No, he's a great leader on the floor, plays defense, does a lot of the dirty work in addition to being the star for the team.
Well, in the ball game is Darius Melcher, and well, that's a hot hand for a cold player.
Absolutely, comes right off the bench and knocks down a deep 3 to extend the lead to 5 for Hales.
Keller with the basketball, number 50. They feed it down low. That's where they want it all afternoon long. He's going to be called for traveling. That's a tough call. He had to split the defenders, but he did walk.
Yeah, the only thing I can guess there is that his left foot came off the floor before the shot went off, and that's why the official called the travel.
12-game winning streak for the Hornets. But nobody's concerned about how many you've won so far. It's kind of 0-0 when these 8 teams get down here. It's just how many have you won by Saturday night about 10:30 or 11? Manoy. They're just going to try it again. And Robinson's wide open with the sky shot. No. Look at Randall. Gets up, hangs, gets it back to Chapital, and he is going to be fouled.
Well, that's where Randall just never gives up on the play. He's the smallest guy on the floor. In most situations like that, when an offensive shot goes up, you expect your point guard to get back defensively. He goes and creates another shot opportunity for his teammate once again.
Randall's one of those guys, you know, I think Isaac Newton probably couldn't figure him out. He hangs up way too long. What's with the gravity, Mr. Randall?
Yeah, a guy that small shouldn't get up that high, I guess.
He's unbelievable. And the lefty buries the free throw. Chapital, 70% shooter on the air. There you see a good shot of Gary London. Pretty nice guy. Fun to talk to.
And we talked about the fact that Hales had lost 4 ball games this season. 2 of those were to Westinghouse.
Yeah.
The most of those was 3 points. The other was 2 points. They also lost to Thornton, who was the #1 ranked team in the country at one time. And they lost their opening game of the season to Farragut.
Wilson misses the 3. And the relentless Hales Franciscan defense is on the run again as Manoy gathers. He's got 4 Hornets around him, and he will be called for a foul.
Boy, I tell you what, Manoy gets his hands anywhere near the ball, you're not going to get it away from him. He's just so strong down there, and he had 4 guys on that time, loose ball down the baseline. He still was able to get the ball away.
Hales Franciscan on a nice streak. You mentioned the powerhouses they play. You saw Thornton Harvey there. Inside, risky pass, and O'Rear picks it up. Can he make the numbers work? Look at this spin move. We're going to have a foul called, or is it out of bounds? Just out of bounds.
I think they called the foul on Randall on that play.
Yeah, they
boy,
did.
I was interested to see that matchup. Lucas O'Rear at 6'6", really the center for this Nashville team, bring the ball down the floor, and Randall didn't hesitate. He was going to go right after him defensively.
He looked like Michelle Kwan on skates, just kind of doing loops.
I don't know if he's that graceful.
Wilson will force it. He won't hit it. Coming on the other side is Stephen Price, who just checked into the game, and he manages to get enough body in the way to give it back to Nashville.
Wilson's been long on a few shots now, and I think a lot of that's due to the fact he's getting such quick defenders on him when he's trying to make that shot.
There's quite a discrepancy in highs and lows. Wilson gets high enough off the glass to avoid the swat of Manoy. That's a pretty big bucket because you're back to within 5. You don't want that double-figure deficit in the first half, man.
Well, that's what you love to see as a coach, is getting a couple of out-of-bounds play baskets in the ball game. If you're a coach on the defensive end, that's certainly something you want to avoid.
Manoy likes that shot. This is going to be off, and rebounding it, coming the other way, is Todd Kostecki. Kostecki, a 5'10 junior. Spelling one of the starters. Look at how aware O'Rear is. I mean, he knows exactly where everyone is spaced around him.
And now you have Manoy guarding him inside. He got off to a quick start with 8 points. And now he's hollering for the ball. I'd love to see that when a big guy doesn't get the ball, to yell at the guard. He doesn't give it to him.
That's because you're a big guy.
No, I was a guard.
Wilson, who couldn't get it. I thought that was going to fall. That would have been a pretty big shot. Andrew Wilson, though, was cold from the floor, having hit only one of his shots as Manoy finds Chapital. This is going to be nothing but trouble if it goes, but it doesn't. But there's you-know-who on the other side.
And Manoy doesn't even hardly get off the floor.
No.
He's just so wide that it's hard for guys to get around him to get to the ball. Chapital, again, being aggressive, going to the basket, fades away a little bit because of the defensive presence by O'Rear. Again, Manoy's just there. He got big mitts on his hands. He gets both hands on the ball, which you love to see.
And the man headed for Purdue, and Matt Painter, the new Rame there at Boilermaker heaven, with Gene Cady stepping aside after 25 fun-filled years at Purdue, no doubt about that. Manoy is a 70% free throw shooter, but he misses his first one. Checking in is Blake Patton now for Nashville. Out goes Price. He'll make 1 of 2. And we've got a TV timeout with Hales still in front. 24-18 in the second quarterfinal. We're back after these local messages. They're hanging. Thanks, Lee. Here's Manoy up top.
So the defensive pressure by Jerome Randall the other time down the floor, creating a 5-second call, and that was the 7th turnover in the first half for Nashville.
Penetrating is Melchior, but nothing to come of that. He's hit a 3 already, not this time. Up high for the rebound is Wilson. And on the move are the Hornets.
And that's actually one thing that Nashville's done well, is they've rebounded the ball well, out-rebounding Hales 12-10 at this point. Need to get Calvin O'Rear involved in the ball game offensively.
Like that, he'll grab, catch, and score.
That's Lucas O'Rear on the benefit of the 4th assist in the ball game from big brother Calvin, but Lucas does a great job getting the ball inside, keeping the ball up high and off the glass.
Is it an assist to your brother the ultimate brotherly love as far as basketball
Well, it
is
depends on
concerned?
who's younger and who's older, I guess.
I guess. So the O'Rears keeping this game tight. As Manoy, who told me yesterday, I think I'll play point at Purdue. You might have to change the body a little bit. I think he might have been kidding. Steal at the other end as Wilson can't handle it. Here comes Nashville. chance to cut it to 2 or 1. Wide open, kicks it out the other way, and he should have taken the shot.
Boy, just too hard of a pass that time for O'Rear to gather in, coming hard down the lane.
And here's an errant pass the other way. So we exchanged turnovers with 2:56 remaining here in the first half. And Hales Franciscan holding on to that 4-point lead.
Both teams missed out on an opportunity. Jerome Randall this time, a little too much ahead of Jeff Wilson that time. Wilson's probably not quite as quick as Randall.
Few are. So let's see if Nashville takes advantage of their second trip down to cut into this lead. Ooh, that's a dangerous pass. Manoy runs over Scott Voorhees.
Voorhees just sacrificed his body that time. He heard footsteps behind him, turned his body into Manoy to draw the foul, and he paid the price.
Well, that was actually just a tap from Nate, but a tap by Nate is a bruise. Here's Wilson left alone on the wing, and he gets it blocked, but that's going to be a foul on Evan McCrimmon.
Great out-of-bounds play once again on a set out of bounds. Good job by Coach Lead getting that backdoor cut. Wilson gets freed up, does a good job of drawing the contact and going to the line for 2.
Darren Lee knows about the second season as a coach. He's been to 1 Sweet 16 and of course 3 Elite Eights, but he's looking for hardware. In and out. Wilson, 66%.
Wilson's shot just a little flat right now in the early part of this game. Just doesn't have very good rotation on that ball.
Mike Robinson in. Randall will take a rest. I didn't know he needed rest. He's got a different motor.
I'm sure that's not his choice.
So Wilson makes 1 of 2. We've got a 3-point ball game as we head down the first half stretch here. Nashville averages 58 points a game, but of course Hales Franciscan, they kind of treat the scoreboard like a ping pong or a pinball machine. They average 72. Manoy kicks it out. Robinson open from 18, in and out. Wilson there, lost it, and it's on the floor to Wilson. He does not have the numbers, and it's going out. Let's look at Robinson jump all the way over press row.
They should give him a long jump award for that.
And he's got the place buzzing, no doubt about it. And of course, whoever he jumped over is thankful that he's got that kind of ability.
From behind, watch this. If they didn't keep the camera on.
We'll
get a better angle from here to get an appreciation of how far Robinson went on this play.
Hello, and
he jumped out of the picture.
Little Dean Beam in there for you. or whatever that track star's name was. O'Rear in trouble. Nice C. He gets it back over, and it is in and out. Tip. Oh, Wilson almost got it. Calvin O'Rear couldn't get the shot to fall. Wilson flying in from the right wing. Came up a little empty as Melcher sets it back for Hales Franciscan. Ranked number 1 in the state. They're here for one purpose. Wilson. Oh, nice block. And look at O'Rear run the floor. He's got a 2-on-1. But they don't take advantage of it as Voorhees backs it out.
But Lucas O'Rear is really deceptive out there.
Nice drive, and we could be tied.
Just want to finish that thought. Lucas O'Rear really runs the floor well, passes in transition, good ball handler. That time, big brother Calvin O'Rear does a good job taking Manoy again off the dribble as he did early on and drawing the foul against Jeff Wilson. A line for a 3-point play opportunity, try to tie this ball game up.
Calvin the senior at 6'4", 200. Lucas the sophomore at 6'6", 220. Calvin averages 8 from the free throw line. Not all that proficient, 55%. Will he tie it? Yes, he will. And how about that?
I'm willing to bet some of the backyard games between those two would remind me of a lot of my brother and myself going at it in the backyard, where it always didn't need a ball involved.
Mom was also part of the medical staff.
Absolutely.
Let's see how Franciscan wants to play it with Coach Gary London. Robinson throws up a wild shot. We've got contact, and that is not a charge. That is a foul against Nashville.
It'll be Andrew Wilson called on the foul. He got him on the arm as he's going up. But I like the aggressiveness of the Nashville Hornets defensively. The previous play, you had Lucas O'Rear blocking the shot of Jeff Wilson. This time you have Andrew Wilson not backing down defensively.
Both teams now with 6 fouls. They're in the bonus after this one. Of course, Robinson in the act of shooting. Checking in is Shannon Yerger, number 15, and out there goes Evan McCrimmon. Mr. Robinson loves this neighborhood, and he gives his team a 1-point lead. Well, I'll say one thing, Nashville took a shot early. They've responded fairly well. They appear pretty calm, Matt.
Well, we talked about this. They need to attack. They can't just allow Hales to attack them constantly, both offensively and defensively, and I think that's what we've seen Nashville do in the first half, is really go after their opportunities.
There's an attack, and there's two.
Absolutely. I love to see Lucas O'Rear go to the basket like that.
Calvin O'Rear, and it's Nashville up by 1. Shannon Yercher, a senior, at 6'2", is going to run the point right now. We are under 35 seconds. Action, and Nashville wants the jump ball, but they won't get it. I think we'll have Mr. Fourese with the personal.
Ball's out of bounds on this play. Very good call in this situation by the official, going up to the basket, tied up. You see Hales has really seemed to lost a step here with Nate Minoy out of the ball game.
Yerger's only shot 18 free throws on the year. He's drained half of those, so you got to feel that the Hornets will just, whatever this free throw. Oh, there's a nice rebound by Wilson. He's looking for glass, too much. And we've got a foul on the other side by Yerger. And it's a 1-on-1 situation for Nashville as we walk the other way. And the Nashville fans, I think, are pretty much into this.
Great positioning there again by Nashville on the boards. They're leading the charge here in the battle of the boards, 16-12 now, and just a great, fundamentally sound team.
There you see Scott Fourese. He's got a shirt that he wears around when people don't know how to pronounce his name. It says F-O-U-R-E-S. I mean,
easy enough.
Send the message. Free throw there. Well, I'm betting if you ask the folks in attendance here and in the TV audience if they thought Hales Franciscan might be trailing at the break, you wouldn't have got a lot of takers except for that man, Darren Lee, the head coach.
And a throng of fans in the northeast corner of this arena.
I don't think they have seats. I think they have trampolines. They're jumping up and
Nobody's sitting down over there.
Almost a steal by Wilson. Touched last by Hales Franciscan as Mike Robinson touched it last. So the best of all worlds for Darren Lee.
Yeah, you got to love that defensive aggressiveness right now that Nashville is playing and creating their own opportunities.
Full court pressure will be applied. Now they'll call off the dogs. Well, they never call off Jeff Wilson out front. He always takes the point man. O'Rear playing a little catch. The biggest assist man on the team is Calvin O'Rear because he knows how to feed his brother. Wilson will be forced out of bounds. Well, that's a pretty big call. There was only .3 left on the clock. That shot had no hope of going in, and now we're going to have Wilson at the free throw line.
It's Robinson's second foul as well, picking up a foul probably 35 feet away from the basket. Really not necessary in that situation, just kind of riding Wilson out of bounds.
With the body was the call. Will the Hornets have a 5-point lead at the break? Wilson says, well, I know it's going to be 4. Let's go for 5. Andrew Wilson, who has scored 31 points as you look at a concerned Gary London there. And it is 5. Hales Franciscan is going to get one shot off from Robinson, and it did not go. So after 16 minutes of play, the Hornets at 28-5 have taken the lead here, 30-25, with a pretty impressive second quarter, Matt.
They didn't back down at all. They really fought in the first half. Nate Minoy had a big half-big play 3 minutes down the stretch. Neither did Randall. Each of them only had one foul. Let's see if they can get back into the ballgame in the second half.
Let's send it to a pretty happy first half coach. Lee?
All right, Jim, thanks a lot, Coach. Your team kind of took a punch there and bounced right back from it. What was key for you?
Well, we hung in there. We got the ball to O'Rear inside, and he's a handful for him. If he doesn't get tired and can keep his wits about him, I think we can go inside to him if we can break their pressure.
It looked to me like you got a little bit of a jump in your step defensively there toward the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, we did. You know, we got to stop them from penetrating, and we know Robinson can shoot, but and we got to get them checked. That's probably the biggest thing. Keep those guys on our back and not give them any second shots.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you second half. Thanks a lot. All right, Jim. Back to you.
And of course, we'll hear from Gary London before the second half starts. This IHSA basketball broadcast, the one we hope you're enjoying, is brought to you by your Peoria, Chicagoland, and Northwest Indiana Chevrolet dealers, and by Massey Ferguson. What to depend on.
And welcome back to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. 30-25 our halftime score. Nashville leading Hales Franciscan here in our second quarterfinal game. I'm Lee Hall, and we are joined by a couple of gentlemen who are large and in charge when it comes to their schools. Let's start first with Dr. John Young of Hales Franciscan. Doctor, a tough first half for your guys out there, down 5 here at the break.
Right, they got to play better defense, I think, and rebound better.
Yeah. Tell me about this team and how driven they are. Unable to come here a year ago, and I know I talking to Coach yesterday, they're very excited to be back.
Yeah, they thought they should have had a shot at it last year. I wasn't involved with the school last year, but they won it the year before, and they thought they should have had a chance at it last year. So this year, they're really trying to prove something.
Tell me about Hales Franciscan, an all-boys school. We don't run into many of those anymore.
Yeah, it's an all-boys school. It's all African-American youngsters, but white youngsters can come to school, Asian youngsters. And for one time, they did have Asian youngsters go to school there. It's a college prep school, south side of Chicago, and we pull youngsters from the Chicago area.
Tell me what extra challenges it brings to you to have an all-boys school as opposed to a co-ed campus.
Well, I tell you, I've been in education 35 years as a building principal, and I retired from public schools last year, and I'm glad not to have girls. The boys constantly want to have girls on campus. I think you can do a lot more in a situation like that with our kids. I think we can talk to them in a different way. We can approach things in a different way. If you got a co-ed, you got to think both sides of the line, and I like it like it is. Like the boys don't like it, but I like it that way.
Sure they don't. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Young. Appreciate it. And now we're with Brad Weathers, coach at Carlisle, 1989, right? Undefeated, is that right?
30-3.
30-3. That's still not too bad. What did you think of that first half as a coach?
Well, it was obviously a great first half. You know, we're outmanned around the horn athletically, but we've done a very good job at trying to control the tempo, and we've got a great coaching staff in Darren Lee and crew, so we're very, very pleased, obviously, to be in this position.
It's got to bring back some great memories for you being back here at the state tournament.
Well, I come back every year whether we're playing or not, but this is especially exciting to be part of this again, and we've got a great group of student athletes and student body in general, so very good time.
Did you pass along any words of wisdom to Coach Lee?
No, I didn't. We've coached against each other for years and years. He is one of the outstanding young coaches in the state, and he certainly doesn't need any pointers from me.
Well, we run into Nashville everywhere. You guys just grow athletes by the bushel down there.
Well, we've had, even in their standards, we've had an exceptional year. Football team made it to the semifinals. Our volleyball team got to the sectional finals. Girls basketball to the Elite Eight, and we're here right now. So it's been a real exciting first year for me, and I couldn't be happier.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Lee.
All right, we appreciate both of you joining us here at halftime. 30-25, our halftime score. It's Nashville with the lead. We'll be back with more halftime festivities after these local messages.
The Peoria Civic Center is buzzing right now. Nashville has impressed plenty of fans this afternoon, taking a 5-point edge over Hales Franciscan. Welcome back. I'm Jim Albrecht along with Matt Taphorn. And Matt, basketball is always a chess game, and they played a little chess breaking that press, Nashville did.
Well, Nashville made some adjustments during the first half. Great job by Coach Darren Lee of moving some guys around. He had Lucas Rear in the backcourt. That wasn't working out so well. He put Calvin O'Rear back there, a little better job of handling the ball, get the assist into the big guy inside.
Well, the big numbers are 30-25. Let's see how they break down individually, and you're going to see one figure that will jump out at you, of course. The field goals, not shabby for Nashville.
No, Nashville's shooting 50% from the field, and we've got Hales shooting only 38%, so certainly that's a disparity. A lot of that's coming from the three-point range. Hales has taken 5 more attempts than what Nashville has. Free throws are relatively even. We talked about the rebounding advantage that Nashville has over Hales, and 7 of 5 in assists, but they've also done a good job of taking care of the ball. Only 8 turnovers compared to 6 for Hales. And we see the turnover differential there. The points off turnovers relatively a wash. Points in the paint again, Lucas O'Rear big inside, hitting all 6 of his field goal attempts.
Yeah, he's 6 of 6, Lucas O'Rear. That's why he leads his team. Let's run down the rest, Matt.
Yeah, 12 points for O'Rear, as we talked about. Wilson found his touch. Calvin O'Rear, big brother, only has 5. Nate Manoy was very effective early on, also has 7 rebounds to go along with those 8 points. And you got Robinson and Randall rounding out the top scorers.
And, of course, yesterday I asked Coach Darren Lee, I said, you know, that's kind of a tough draw. You get Hales Franciscan, the #1 team in the state. He said there's only one way to look at it. You're probably going to have to beat them anyway, whether it's quarterfinals, semifinals, or championships. So go at them, give it everything you've got, and I think we've seen that in the first 16 minutes.
And that's a great message to give your team, too. If we want to win this state championship, we got to beat the #1 team. That's Hales. They've come out here trying to accomplish that in the first half.
We're back with the start of the second half after these local messages. Well, Gary London's had his halftime say. Let's see what it was all about. Lee?
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. Coach, Nashville took a punch. They came right back. What did you tell your team at halftime?
Well, we've got to try and pick up the tempo of the game. I think right now the tempo is favoring them, and so, we've got to start walking the ball up, and, that's not our style. We've got to start getting out and get some run-outs and basically just pick up the speed of the game.
O'Rear was a ton for them in the first half, 6 of 6.
Oh, yeah, well, he's everything we expected him to be.
All right, how do you stop him?
Well, that's what we're hoping we can do. We got to know where he's at and try and put some pressure on him.
All right, Coach, thanks a bunch. All right, good luck to you. All right, Jim, back to you.
They want to run. Let's see how it ran in the first half.
Well, you got Jerome Randall, who runs faster than most of the team out there, but a good assist that time to Jeff Wilson. And Nate Manoy, again, moving people around. 2 attempts that time to get 2 of his 8 points in the first half. And then we've got, for Nashville, from the perimeter, got Hari hitting down a big shot, only one of 2 3-pointers that Nashville hit in the first half. But the story was Lucas O'Rear inside, 6 out of 6 from the field for his 12 points. There you can see he's getting over the top passes from big brother Calvin O'Rear. And this time, a good slide move down in the paint. A little finger roll up and in, again, for 2 of his 12 points in the first half.
We're back with the start of the second half after this on the IHSA Television Network. We want to thank Chili's of East Peoria. Chili's right across the Illinois River from Carver Arena. It's a great place to stop in for lunch and after this afternoon's game, or enjoy dinner before heading to Carver Arena for tonight's semifinal games. Chili's has a great selection of appetizers, salads, and their world-famous fajitas. Try Chili's Guiltless Grill. Stop by Chili's in East Peoria at 800 Riverside Drive across from Walmart. Chili's of East Peoria. Give them a try. Same starting 5 as Robinson hangs from way outside, can't get it, and Flores comes down with a basketball for Nashville. And again, with a 5-point lead in the basketball, they're putting a little pressure on the #1 team in the state. Hari has it taken away on the bad wing pass. And now they'll pick it up because Manoy finally came out of nowhere to get it.
Well, I think Randall gave up on that play thinking the ball was going to be thrown out of bounds, and suddenly Manoy appeared out of nowhere. Was able to recover that, but you see the defensive pressure picked up immediately by Hales in the second half.
Same starting 5, Randall, Robinson, Wilson, Manoy, and Chapital. This is Nate Manoy, who's headed to Purdue because of soft jumpers just like that.
That's a nice little stop, jump on a dime and jump up and knock down that big shot that time by Manoy instead of forcing it inside and picking up a charge.
They're going to beat the pressure to Wilson off the glass. He should have gone off the glass. He'll get another chance. No. Rebound comes the other way, and a missed opportunity for Nashville. They had a 2-on-0. That ball's blocked partially, I believe, by Lucas O'Rear. Yeah, you don't like to see those get away. And, of course, Andrew Wilson's a little upset with himself, but he's got to shake it off. He'll get another shot.
He hesitated, first of all, offensively, and then defensively, you got O'Rear going out and guarding the ball, and Wilson picks up the foul on the rebound.
See some numbers on Gary London, his 6th year. If he can win today, it would be 125 wins over that span. Wide open is Chapel, the lefty, nails it. And that 5-point lead has evaporated. We're tied at 30s.
Big shot that time by Chapel. They need to get something going from the perimeter. Only 2 out of 10 in the first half.
Again, they break it. Wilson, second chance, got it.
A little stronger that time to the hoop by Wilson. 2 times down the floor, though. Nashville has broken that press without any problem.
Are you kidding me? Jerome Randall does a little 360 and drops it home. And we're again tied. This is O'Rear. That's a nice touch.
Boy, that's a tough shot for a left-hander going away from the basket. Got it up off the glass and rolled in off the rim.
Back and forth we go. After the Calvin O'Rear make, we've got the Randall miss.
Well, we see the pace has definitely been picked up by both teams. Nashville not backing down when they break the press, and you have to attack.
They're daring Voorhees to shoot, but he wants to come back out and set up the offense. I watched Wilson in the shoot-around yesterday. Must have drained about 14 threes in a row. Inside, look at that pass. Here's Voorhees, and look at the block by Manoy.
That was an unbelievable block by Manoy. Came out of nowhere, really got up off the ground, and with 2 hands made that block.
Chapel didn't see the company all the way down. Thought we were going to get our first jam of the day, but Lucas said, I think I'll just gently lay this thing in.
Lucas O'Rear didn't know how far away he was from the basket when he turned around, but again, lays it in for an even 7 for 7 from the field now.
Not bad as a sophomore. 4-point lead as Chapel looks up.
And again, what we see at the start of the second half is Nashville's not backing down. They're attacking. When they break the press, they're going after the basket. And they're taking, again, Hales' strongest punch and really standing up and really going back at him.
We've got basketball from the Peoria Civic Center for the next 2 full days. Should be great. Here's the alley-oop, read well by Lucas O'Rear, who said, thank you, I'll take the alley-oop.
Yeah, they've seen that set up somewhere in film or something where they knew that play was coming all the way.
Lucas O'Rear, the DB, and now brother Calvin misses it. Came up a little short, but look at the hustle. He finds the ball, gets it over to O'Rear, who saves it. Brother, oh brother. Wilson forced out of bounds by Chapel.
And the small hustle plays are what make the difference. You got a guy like Calvin O'Rear out there. A senior, doesn't want his season to end. He makes the tough play on the floor.
Timeout on the floor. Nashville led by 5 at the half, by 4 with 4:24 remaining third quarter. Back after these local messages. We'll let you catch your breath after this game and then rejoin you tonight at 6:30. Of course, Eureka is coming to town, and they don't have a long way to go. They're 19-10 against 29-2 Liberty, and then Breeze Central will round out tonight's quarterfinal action against Winnebago here for their second straight time. Winnebago, of course, fell to Chicago Hope last year in the final game. There's so many Chicagos. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. There's so many Chicagos. I got to get them right. So Nashville with the inbounds play against 3 players. O'Rear goes up, and he hasn't missed yet. Lucas O'Rear, great call off the bench.
And that's the 3rd out-of-bounds play that Nashville has scored out of. When you take advantage of easy opportunities, you give yourself a chance. And again, O'Rear just would not be denied the spot coming to the ball, and he's so strong up top, he got the ball off the glass.
And what you like to see is a play like that from Andrew Wilson. His offense is not quite there tonight, but he's still hustling defensively. He knows his offense will come back.
No, but he's one of the senior co-captains for this team, and he's not out there just for his shooting ability. There's a lot of intangibles out there as well.
Robinson says, hey, back out, everybody. I need to get it to my man Randall over on the right wing. They trail by 6. Let's see how Manoy wants to handle this. He wants to handle it himself, but he traveled with the basketball.
Well, I don't know about that call. I didn't think he traveled there, but I really like the job that Calvin O'Rear did against Manoy, keeping him in front of him. You got to keep him in front of you. Both he and Randall both. If you keep him in front of you, give yourself an opportunity. I think that's a hop, step, and a shot. That's not a travel.
It won't be at Purdue, that's for sure. The other way, a steal. Franciscan needs it, gets it. Mike Robinson, get out the stopwatch.
Yeah, smart foul in that situation too. You get the foul before the shot, ball be out of bounds, no basket.
Very smart foul.
Lake Hales earned that in the open floor. Good job that time. Number 11, Stephen Price into the ball game, the junior for Nashville.
Well, Franciscan was told at the break by their coach, let's pick up the pace, but they're still in a half-court game whenever Nashville dictates it. There's a foul against Nashville on Manoy.
I think it's Calvin O'Rear from behind, going to pick up his second foul. Not in any foul jeopardy right now. But,
and nobody in really any serious foul trouble.
No, but I think a lot of that's the coaches in the first half really got a lot of substitutions in there, made sure that guys were fresh and available for the second half.
On the slash by Robinson, the whistle. That is the 5th team foul on Nashville. There's only 1 team foul on Hales Franciscan, so that's to their advantage.
And that's the 3rd foul on Andrew Wilson. So meaning we said something about foul trouble. He picks up his 3rd.
.5'8", Jerome Randall. Look at the move. Look at the hang time. Doesn't get the result he wanted. Wilson was streaking down court, but O'Rear thought better of it.
And that's the 3rd jump shot that Randall has missed. So as long as you keep him in front of you and not let him drive to the basket and dish off to some of his partners in there, you know, he's a little easier to handle.
Stephen Price in the game, and this is O'Rear to the glass, and he got it. Calvin O'Rear, the senior, and the brothers are taking it to the Hales Franciscan family right now. And we've got out of bounds, Nashville's ball.
Great play by Kostecki there. Knocks it off of Manoy, out of bounds in the baseline. Nashville get the ball once again after this timeout.
Gary London needs to talk it over. Darren Lee breathes a sigh of relief. The biggest lead of the game, 8. 40-32 Nashville.
You really got the guys over there on the Hales bench questioning themselves and talking to each other over there, and you know the confidence right now is just exudes from Nashville over there on their bench.
Well, if you want to know about the history of Illinois high school basketball, nobody knows it better than Taylor Bell. I just interviewed him the other day, and he's got all the great stories, the heartbreaking stories. Of course, you see that name, Scheidler. Just imagine if they had an arc back then. Who knows, the great Pittsfield teams. Nobody's been to the Class A tournament more than Pittsfield. Of course, the Peoria stories, Dick Van Sciak, and the tradition of basketball in that town, along with the Quad Cities and the great Wharton Fieldhouse. It goes on and on. I'll never forget that Carver game when the late steal and Arthur Smedley buries a 14-footer. I was actually young then, Matt. And it was one of the highlights of this long-standing tournament. And right now, Nashville's trying to become part of that folklore. If you can knock off number 1, I don't care if it's in the quarterfinals or anywhere down here, you will be remembered. And Hales Franciscan and Nate Manoy, they just got to reach back. They've been here before. The full court press is applied as Jeff Wilson gets up on Calvin O'Rear. This is a great matchup. This is a sophomore, folks, 6'6", 220, bringing the ball up.
Against 6'8", 220. And that's something you always see in a Class A game. You might see it in the AA game.
Wilson in and out. And the other Wilson clears. Oh, that would have been huge. That would have been a double deficit lead as Randall doesn't slow down, doesn't get the hang time though, but Manoy's back, hangs and hits with a very tough shot. He double clutched.
Might even got banged a little bit on the shot, but again, that's where Randall getting to the basket creates an offensive rebound opportunity for his teammate. And again, if you got to keep him in front of you and not let him get to the glass, that time he's able to get there and help out his teammate Manoy.
And by the way, Fighting Illini fans, things went well today. First round of the Big Ten Championship. For Coach Weber and company as Illinois takes out Northwestern 68-51. O'Rear inbounds. Finds Kostecki. Wilson hanging and hit.
Well, you got to give Wilson credit. He hasn't really been on his game. He's 4 out of 13 now, but knocks down a big shot right in Manoy's face.
He averages just over 15 per contest and keeps the pressure on as Manoy finds the paint, finds a block shot. And they don't get the call. He can't believe it. If it's blocked, Nate says, how did it go out of bounds?
Nobody helped him out. It must have been tipped after the block shot.
Yep.
None of the other officials helped out on the play.
Scott Voorhees checks back in, and Wilson with those 3 fouls will probably, Matt, sit out the remainder of this third quarter with 1:45 remaining. Gary London looking a little anxious, and he has every right to. When you're undefeated in Chicago Catholic play, you expect more W's down here. Ooh, double team, but O'Rear bounced it away and just, 10 seconds it is. Matt Taphorn's got that internal watch.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there could have been a foul that time on Robinson. He came over to trap when Lucas O'Rear turned his back, and there was a lot of contact right there. The official did not make the call, started to, and then made the 10-second call instead.
And of course, this is when you need to take advantage of the turnover. Darius Melcher is in the game, wearing number 12. This is Robinson. They are not shy of threes. They took 452 during the course of the season. That's a nice shot, but he won't get it. Wilson won't get it. Wilson's going to go back up relentlessly, feed it over to Melcher, who's going to own the rebound. Nashville had it, and they will own it as Stephen Price came down with it. Price is the fastest guy on the team. He gets some PT, but he had a big rebound there.
You kind of get a sense that Hales is starting to rush things a little bit. Yep. Starting to panic a little and force some shots. Maybe not go with the best shot opportunity they might get, but you know that's where you hope a guy like Manoy would take charge.
Kostecki better hurry. He does so. Oh, that's a turnover. As Manoy comes down, he's dogged by Price, but nothing will come of that as Randall does his elusive routine. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a tough task for anybody. Keep that guy in front of you, but a little killer crossover that time by Jerome Randall.
He elevates so quickly, and then he has that soft little underhand spin. We dare you to stop it. This is the double team, and Nashville's going to be in danger of a turnover. It's loose on the floor. Who's going to get it? We're going to have a jump ball eventually. And Nashville's starting to get rattled by the quickness court again, and we haven't seen O'Rear bring the ball up.
Well, no, but the problem here is that Hales has gone back to their man-to-man pressure full court. When they went to that full court zone press, it was easy for Nashville to break. They got guys in behind it, so good adjustment by head coach Gary London.
It's O'Rear against the world, and Wilson blocks it. But Wilson gets it right back. The other Wilson hangs too short, and coming out of there with it with a chance to tighten things up is Manoy. Melcher in a hurry, looking around, stopping, 14-footer, no. Rebound O'Rear, Calvin the senior. He's in trouble, gets rid of it. Somebody's open! Oh, yeah. He didn't quite elevate for the dunk, but they got their 8-point lead back, and they got to fire away out front, hit it. Ho-ho, Jerome Randall. Cool as an evening breeze in Peoria. Buries it, and we're back to 5, Matt.
Tough shot that time by Randall. Brings them back within 5. But they certainly have to find some heart in this fourth quarter.
This IHSA basketball broadcast is brought to you by your Peoria Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevrolet dealers and by Massey Ferguson. What to depend on.
Hey! 44-39, our score Nashville, the 5-point lead on Hales Franciscan. Hales pulling within 5 on that 3 by Jerome Randall. Jaja Miller is his mom. You had to like that.
Oh, yes, it was a lovely shot.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes, I am extremely nervous. Not just a little.
John Manoy is here, Nate's mother, and these guys were really motivated to get back here this year after not coming last year, weren't they?
Yes, they were. They really, really were.
Everybody asked me, was Nate this big 2 years ago? He's grown, hasn't he?
Yes, my son has grown a little.
You told me yesterday 30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah, about 30 pounds.
Yeah. Here he goes to work again. All right, we'll get, oh, see there, we're good luck. All right.
That's my boy.
She was doing water duty here a minute ago. She's an all-purpose mom. Back to you.
Yes, my son.
And we'll give that 2 points to home cooking from Mrs. Manoy as You have to think, and Nashville turns it over. After these final 8 minutes, Nate Minoy says, put it on my shoulders.
He's going to get a heavy dosage of some leather inside. But, you know, both teams shooting the ball better here in the second half. We see the rebounding advantage still with Nashville. They aren't backing down at all, but they're going to get a lot of pressure here in this fourth quarter by Hales defensively.
Look at Randall. Fakes, gets it back after the missed shot.
Randall just a little short that time on the driving shot down the lane, but aggressive enough to get the ball back, see if they can cut into this three-point deficit.
Minoy knew exactly where that ball was going to be, and he knows exactly what to do with it.
And that's that same hop step he took earlier. That time there was no call by the official, but he's just very strong inside. You're not going to take the ball away from him.
And we've got a foul, this one against Hales Franciscan. And I go back to an earlier statement. This program of Nashville has had so much quarterfinal heartbreak. They've lost 3 times in the quarterfinals since 1997. Came down, played very well, Matt, just didn't get the scoreboard on their side as O'Rear waits for a little help. Or does he want to spin baseline? Yep, that's his choice. Ball blocked from behind by Wilson and still belongs to Nashville. That was a tough call.
And boy, you got to like the aggressiveness of Lucas O'Rear too, taking it to the basket. Good quick move inside. I thought he got fouled.
So did his coach, Darren Lee.
The officials aren't going to make that call in this time of the ball game.
Inbound play, rear to O'Rear. Nope, it would have worked, but the lefty misfired. But Lucas steals it, puts it back up and in.
Boy, what you got to love the intensity of the sophomore, Lucas O'Rear.
Look at that pass to Robinson. Count those two up, and back and forth we go. Do not leave the living room, folks. We got 6 minutes of speed ball coming up.
Again, the full court man-to-man defense being applied by Hales. The key for Nashville is they need to attack when they get behind that press.
Voorhees is in trouble, and he gets hit in the face. Randall made an attempt at the steal and might have clipped an eyebrow there. You hope those aren't fingernails because those hurt. Here's what happened.
Yeah, you got Randall coming in here trying to pick the ball off the ground as he's dribbling, as Voorhees is dribbling the ball.
Now we got a foul on the low post. I tell you what, if Lucas O'Rear has learned this much about basketball, only being a sophomore, I mean, he has body position. He knows exactly what he can and cannot do down there. That time he caused the foul, but Robinson with the inbound steal.
Good quick hands that time by Robinson. O'Rear tried to catch him sleeping that time on the pass to Wilson inside.
And that's Randall giving Hales Franciscan the lead back at 48-46. That is their first lead of the second half. They trailed by 5 at the break. Can Wilson respond? No. And down with it comes Darius Melcher. And for the first time this afternoon, Gary London's got to be feeling like this is the team he brought here. Wilson couldn't get it. In the crowd, puts it right back up and in. He had to do a tiptoe over 2 O'Rear bodies to put that thing back.
And that shot was really caused by Randall. He realized Wilson wasn't being guarded. He got the ball up to him quickly. Even though he didn't hit the first shot, he was able to get the second one up and in.
They need this from Voorhees. They don't get it. Rebound is fought for. Wilson's going to go right back up. Get it blocked by Wilson. One Wilson guarding the other. He had to go up.
Now there's another little game going on here too as Jeff Wilson started to talk some trash out there. And he's getting Lucas O'Rear involved. O'Rear looks a little winded right now.
Voorhees, who couldn't bury the jumper last time, wants to give everybody a little blow here. They want it in that man's hands. O'Rear knows what to do and can't get the roll. Tough break for Nashville because he did everything right except finish.
A great effort again by Calvin O'Rear to try to beat Minoy to the basket.
Oh, brother. The threes are starting to show up on the Hales Franciscan side of the court. One by Randall moments ago, now one by Mike Robinson, and a big lead suddenly at 53-46. That's how quick they can do it. Wilson stops, tough shot, won't get it. The other Wilson clears. Those are the toughest shots, man.
And Andrew Wilson now 4 out of 17 from the field in the ball game. Nashville really winded out there. You got a lot of guys grabbing their shorts.
Robinson again. Pounds his chest on the way down the court. And I don't know if it's lights out for Nashville, but it's got to be feeling like desperation time, although they still have 4 minutes left. But the lead suddenly 10, wasn't it? Wasn't it 10 Nashville not all that long ago, man?
I don't know if they ever had that big of a lead. I know they were up 8.
I know they were up 8 with a chance to go up by 10.
Certainly Hales has found another gear, as we said.
We're back to see if they can come back. Hales Franciscan up by 10. Back after these local messages. Man, that happened in a hurry. The Holiday Inn City Center is located in the heart of downtown Peoria. That means you're only a couple of blocks away from Carver Arena. Come to Carver for the morning session, take a short stroll back to the Holiday Inn, enjoy some of the many amenities, including the indoor pool, free high-speed wireless internet service, and a complimentary business center. Call the Holiday Inn City Center at 309-674-2500. Holiday Inn City Center, a great place to stay when you're in Peoria.
Hales has outscored Nashville here 17-2 in the fourth quarter. And Mike Robinson has 8 of those 17 points for Hales, hitting 2 big threes.
Clint Hari back in the game, and here's a steal by Chapital. Chapital down one-on-one, won't count. The foul before the shot.
Chapital really wanted that basket. Good job defensively out of the zone, even to come up and intercept that pass to the wing.
Mike Robinson has been the catalyst, hasn't he?
He's one of those guys that's been here before, and he knows what it takes. The team was a little lethargic the first 3 quarters, and they've certainly stepped it up here.
Now they're going to attack, and he hit it again, not this time. And Hari had the rebound and a foul from behind on Jerome Randall. 4 minutes exactly remaining as you see Randall's reaction to his fourth foul. Well, if he's going to have 4, Matt, I'd say with 4 minutes remaining and a 10-point lead, it's a good spot to have 4.
Well, and even though he does have 4 fouls, I think just picking up his aggressiveness defensively has allowed his team to get back in this ballgame.
Clint Hari at the free throw line. Drains a much-needed point. Clint, of course, hit that early three-pointer. And that's what Darren Lee was concerned about, this speed, this blitzkrieg of defense that Hales Franciscan can bring as Wilson picks up a foul. That is his 4th foul.
Not a very smart foul in that situation. Loose ball on the other team's backcourt.
Randall's going to come out as Shannon Yerger will replace him for a couple of minutes, I'm sure. He gets a congratulatory pat on the back from that man, Gary London. Once you get one of those big boys in your trophy case, you always hunger for number 2, don't you, Matt?
Well, and especially as we talked about them not being able to come down last year, they feel like they missed an opportunity to get another one.
Chapital misses on the free throw, so every trip down now precious for Nashville, and they get it almost knocked away, and out of bounds it goes, but they will retain possession.
It's interesting to see Hales going to a 2-3 zone now. They changed it up a little defensively, trying to match up with Lucas O'Rear inside, but they really got back in this ballgame with their defensive pressure.
Here's an open look for Wilson. Too hard. Ball's loose, and out of there with it comes Hales Franciscan. Well, they needed it that trip down, and speaking of trip, down goes Robinson. No call. Wilson, 1 against 3, decides against it. Hari will go to glass and not get it. Rebound, O'Rear falls. That's 22 points for the sophomore, and he's not got give up in him.
When he almost shot that ball on the way down, he was up there, tried to tip it in off the shot by Hari.
He had to get away from
that. The ball's
that.
coming down, it goes up. A lot of hands around him, both Chapital and Wilson trying to get that rebound away. O'Rear just would not be denied.
A conventional 3 will make it a 6-point ball game. So Nashville again taking a punch. Pretty big run by Hales Franciscan, but they're not going to the cut man in the corner yet. What a game. I'm surprised he's missed a shot the way he's played.
Well, the only shots that he's missed are ones that were blocked by Wilson. Wilson has a couple of blocks here in the second half, but other than that, Lucas O'Rear, the sophomore, has just dominated inside.
Tell you what, Andrew Wilson or I should say Jeff Wilson for Hales Francisco has really increased his stock as far as college ball over the last couple of months. There's that touch from everywhere on the floor, including the free throw line, and it's a 6-point game as the Nashville fans are on their feet, hoping for a miss this trip down by the Spartans. 27-4, ranked number 1 in the state, trying to win their second state championship in 3 years.
Hale's going to spread the floor here. Nashville so far a little reluctant to come out and get him. With a 6-point lead, you're really going to have to force some action here. It's a 2-possession game, and the other team has the ball.
Yeah, as you can see, Randall's back in.
That's a tough task to come out and guard him. I can see why they're hesitating to come out after him.
Manoy doesn't hesitate, but he misses the shot. Rebound, though, Chapital. How about that?
And Hales gets an offensive rebound when they desperately needed one to extend their lead to 8.
Yeah, Chapital's had a good fourth quarter, too. Very aggressive. There's a nice tip pass to O'Rear. O'Rear to O'Rear, and you can see why that combination works so well. Big brother has the most assists on the team, and most of them went to his younger brother. Again, 6 points. And 2-minute mark approaching.
That was a set play against the zone offense. And just a great job by Coach Darren Lee of getting his team some easy baskets.
Melcher couldn't get it, but I thought it was coming back to him, but stepping in there nicely was Blake Patton. And we've got a whistle. Ball still maintained by Nashville. As you get a look at Blake Patton. Good shooter. He could come into play down the stretch.
Well, that's a shot that if you're the Hales coach, you'd like to see Belcher just put in his back pocket and wait on that one. You don't want a 3-point shot up 6 with 2 minutes to play. You want to certainly work for your shot opportunities.
O'Rear's going to force things, and we've got a whistle on the block. And he's mad because he wanted the bucket. He said, hey, I made the move. And he'll go to the free throw line. I think he wanted the bucket because his free throw shooting is not the best at 55%, but these moments in a state tournament, you can kind of forget about statistics. Now the heart takes over. 9th team foul for Hales, but it's short. Tipping it over to O'Rear is Wilson. They'll get another chance. He's got a man open in the lane, doesn't take him. And now following out of there with it is Nashville again. Again O'Rear, and again a foul.
Boy, Wilson, you really like to see him pass the ball. He's had some guys open, and he just forced some shot opportunities.
He had Price over there on the right wing, didn't choose to go to him.
4 out of 19 from the field. He just keeps putting it up there, even though he's really struggling. You got to admire his courage for that, but guys, when you got guys open, you got to give them the ball.
Calvin needs to make the front end here. And he doesn't.
Well,
we're in the bonus now at 10. Correct that. He still needed to make it.
Doesn't look real comfortable there at the free throw line.
This one will go. And it's back to a 5-point contest as checking in is Jeff Wilson. Out will be Darius Melcher. Coming in will be Scott Fories for Nashville. And out comes Wilson.
If Nashville tries to pressure the ball out of bounds and deny that inbounds pass, it's going to be a difficult task, especially with Jerome Randall out there on the floor.
Well, you better hurry. That's 5.
That was a quick 5 seconds, but nobody from Hales was moving to get open. Randall was trying to get Chapital to throw the ball over the top. I'm not sure Chapital could see Randall.
Hales has 2 full timeouts left. Nashville 3. Darren Lee's got to pull out all the stops right now. He's having a conversation with the official, which you can see in the far right corner of your screen. Checking in now will be Shannon Yerger, and out will be Jerome Randall. If it gets tight, you do want Randall in the ballgame, especially if you're playing keep away, and he's playing with 4 fouls right now and taking a seat.
Well, the confusion in the ballgame right now is on whether or not they can get another guy in. Coach Darren Lee wants to try to get Andrew Wilson back in, but he just came out. No time elapsed because there was a 5-second call down to the baseline.
So Lucas will inbound to his brother, who wants to look right back down to him, but that's a bad pass. And the big opportunity goes awry for Nashville. Yeah, and now it's keep away time.
You got to be strong with the ball, strong with your pass, especially with that defensive tenacity by Hales.
Well, Forey's trying to get in the Robinson's way, and he will get a personal foul for his efforts as Robinson finally worked his way past him. Took a little shot to the face there.
Robinson wanted the basket to go with that. He said, hey, I had to endure all that pain on the way to the basket, at least give me the ball or give me the basket and I'll go to the line for one.
And
you
this
see
is
the
how he earned
contact
it.
clearly came before the shot.
Yeah.
The reach in there at the end kind of caught him in the left eye.
Gary London talking to his assistant coaches, watching Robinson miss. Well, both teams now giving each other opportunities in these final 2 minutes.
Well, you got to take that shot.
You know this guy
That's
will.
charge.
Charge? Yes, it is. Calvin O'Rear came down with a full head of steam.
And I think you saw Nate Minoy out of the corner of his eye, saw Calvin O'Rear with a full head of steam all the way from half court. He just set himself defensively and drew the charge to get the possession back to Hales.
Well, that time Calvin O'Rear was the insect and Mr. Minoy was the windshield. There's no contest there. As 265 pounds of Nate Minoy turns away Nashville again, and now time not smiling on Nashville. If they come up short, it'll be their 4th quarterfinal loss since 1997. And they played well in all those games, including this one. As we get the whistle and send Robinson to the free throw line. And that will be the bonus situation, shooting 2 with 10 team fouls. So let's see if he takes advantage of the double bonus. We've been at 58-53 for a while here, as things definitely slowed down from the start of that 4th quarter. But the pressure at the beginning of the 4th quarter was key here, Matt. I mean, they just turned up that 5th gear,
Well,
and Nashville was getting tired.
We started to see signs of that occurring right at the end of the 3rd quarter, too, and that's where Hales started to show a little bit more presence, and that's really more their game. You know, they're not ones to sit back on their heels. They want to make sure that they go after it.
And how big was that 3 at the end of the 3rd quarter by Jerome Randall? Real big.
Well, not just the 3 itself, but his reaction after he made it. He was really trying to get his team fired up, and I think that that's really where it started.
Wilson again, in and out, not his day. And Minoy will just take care of business and be given a trip to the free throw line. Well, Hales Franciscan got off slow in their last quarterfinal appearance here, but dodged that bullet, and now Minoy and company look like they may be headed to another final Saturday in Class A.
It's always tough to get past that first game, whether you're the favored team or the underdog. You know, you never know how your team's going to react and come out and play. And again, Hales didn't play their game in the first half and maybe in the first 3 quarters, but I think we saw the #1 team in Class A here in the 4th period.
Yeah, well, they needed to turn up the tempo, and that's what they did. And now we've got a whistle in the corner. Another foul on Nashville that will send Wilson to the free throw line. It's quite the tie Mr. London's got on there. Here is Wilson trying to put away a game Nashville effort. Another one of those, and it's a 10-point deficit for Nashville with under a minute to play. So if you look back at the history of all these games down here, that qualifies as miracle time. It stays at 9, but Minoy's going to root it out of there, go up, get fouled.
He would not be denied that ball down low.
I mean, I don't think you can appreciate, Matt, just how strong his hands are. I mean, they are just extremely, well, let's put it this way. You and Matt Minoy arm wrestling, I'm taking him. Hope you don't mind.
No faith.
This IHSA basketball broadcast is being brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And of course by AGCO. You have just got to drive one.
This is the spot.
Nashville has just missed a long jumper from the wing, but they got it right back. And Wilson, who's had one of those nightmarish nights from the field, feeds it around the horn. But Wilson, the other one, comes back. Here's O'Rear. He's fouled on the way in. Well, Nashville's certainly game enough but they still trail by 10. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited. That's about all this young man has done wrong tonight. Missed a free throw.
He's had a fantastic game. The sophomore gave him a little taste of the state tournament. See if he can bring his team down here once again in the future.
26 points on the afternoon for Lucas O'Rear. And Darren Lee, whose 9th-rated Nashville Hornets had the place buzzing at the half and at the end of the third quarter. Both breaks where they led by 5 saw it all dissolve in a hurried rush of turnovers created by Hales Franciscan. And some threes didn't hurt either. Look at Michael Robinson.
Now, and Robinson is the guy that I think really got this team on his back to start the fourth quarter. Hit a couple of big shots and really willed this team to victory here in the fourth quarter. He's been down here before. He did not want to go home empty-handed, losing in this first quarterfinal. He was on the team 2 years ago and was a big part of that victory in the state championship then. He was one of those guys that had to stay at home last year and didn't really like that feeling too well. So, he's certainly a guy who put the team on his back here in the fourth quarter and got them to victory.
And it looks like Seneca, rated number 5 in the state, the second highest rated team in the Elite 8, will have to find a way to prepare for Hales Franciscan.
And that's going to be a tough task. We saw Seneca play in that first ball game. They've got some size, not real bulky, but they're going to have to find a way and attack like Nashville did in the early going, but find a way to take care of the basketball.
How pretty is that? Aubrey taking on the world, and now we've got a foul down at the other end. Actually, a timeout was called before the baseball pass, so we're going to keep it right here. 29 for Mr. O'Rear.
O'Rear with that three-point shot gives him 29 in the ball game.
Here's the place to be tonight. Inside Cable Channel 17 will carry tonight's 2 quarterfinal games in Peoria, East Peoria, Morton, Pekin, and West Peoria. ICN Channel 5 will carry tonight's games in Bloomington and Normal. WAOE TV will resume full coverage on Saturday. Tonight you're looking at Liberty and Eureka. Liberty 29-2 against Eureka 19-10. The only team with a double-digit loss number. And then Breeze Central against Winnebago. Breeze at 30-2, Winnebago 27-3. Runner-up last year, trying to finish one more notch up the ladder.
Should be a couple of great matchups. Really looking forward to that second quarterfinal game that you and I will be doing, Jim. And Winnebago, a repeat team from last year, as is Breeze Central here in the most recent history. Winnebago with Devin Ballwinkle as an exciting player, an all-stater.
This game had so many shifts in tempo. It came out with Hales Franciscan throwing the first punch. Then the Hornets righted themselves, and they kind of controlled the tempo. And then we heard Gary London say at half, hey, we gotta pick this speed up, and they gave it a good shot again. But toward the end of the third quarter, that's when the game balance shifted.
Well, and I think you started to see Nashville get tired.
Yeah, I think
they started to become winded, grab their shorts, didn't really get back defensively all the time.
Look at this. To the wide receiver, Mr. Randall, and he could not control it. Nate had a little too much air on that. I think he did a John Elway thing there. 21 seconds remain. Quickly getting some substitutes in and missing the shot there was Dylan York for Nashville. Want to mention all these young men onto the court. Blaine Morris out there for Nashville as well, along with Stephen Price, who has seen some time. And that's going to be the way the Nashville Hornets end a very, very successful campaign. But again, a quarterfinal disappointment. And they weren't favored, Matt, okay? You're not favored, but boy, when you get them on the ropes like that, you really feel that you got them right where you want them, but it's a full 32-minute game, and they just got gas, man.
Well, they came in with the right attitude, led by Coach Darren Lee, that if you're going to win the championship, you got to beat the top team. That's Hales, and they just weren't able to get it done tonight.
Lee's got the winning coach, Mr. London.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. Yeah, we're with Gary London, and boy, things changed a lot there at the beginning of that fourth quarter. I talked to Nate Manoy's mother, and boom, there it was.
Well, you know, we just knew it would be sooner or later. We were hoping our intensity and our pressure would try and get to them. They did a heck of a job for 3 quarters of breaking our pressure. And so we were hoping eventually we'd come up with some intensity and just turn up our defense. And we knew that was going to be the key.
Randall and Robinson knocked in some threes, and it's amazing how good your team looks when shots go in.
Oh, yeah, Mike Robinson was on fire there. And when he's got that look in his eye, we better get him the ball.
And you can't overlook the guy to my left either, Nate Manoy.
Oh, Nate, again, that's why he's a Division I ball player. And believe me, we leaned on him today, and he put us on his shoulders and got it done.
How sweet is it to get back here and now advance to the trophy round tomorrow?
Well, I tell you what, this first game is always a crapshoot because you don't know how your kids are going to, you know, the jitters are there and everything. So it's a relief to get past that first one.
Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we're with Nate Manoy, our country insurance player of the game, 18 points. 12 rebounds. Nashville made it tough on you guys there for about 3 quarters, didn't they?
Of course they did. That's why I just had the Elite 8.
What'd you think about their play?
I love the intensity. I love the competition. It was very competitive. It was clean basketball. Nothing more you can ask for.
Yeah. Tell me what was key for you there at the beginning of the 4th quarter when you guys turned it up.
We just got to bring the intensity and play the way we know how to play. And we got to play with each other, which we weren't doing the first 3 quarters. So, you know what I'm saying, we got to step it up. We got to play together.
How sweet is it for you to get back here after not being able to come here last year?
The feeling is undescribable.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that. Tell me about getting on to that medal round. Now you get past this first game, and you know you're going to go home with a trophy, and you got a chance to do what you did in 2003.
It means a lot to everybody, our teammates, our families, our community. Being banned from last year with, it's an undescribable feeling.
All right, Nate, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Nate Manoy, our country insurance player of the game, Jim.
Thank you, Lee. To borrow a word from Nate, I think Lee's sports code is undescribable. We're going to take a break. First a network, followed by local messages. It was a whole lot of Lucas O'Rear, but a counterpunch by Mike Robinson and Matt Manoy and the rest of the Hales Franciscan Spartans. I'm Jim Albrecht along with, of course, Matt Taphorn. And, hey, Nashville gave it a great shot. And as we take a look at the stats, they're to be congratulated. But Franciscan, they get all those athletes.
They do, and they just have relentless pressure against you. They shot the ball better in the second half. Rebounding, they kept pace. The key was turnovers in the second half, you know, and they put the pressure on. Nashville came up with a few more turnovers, and certainly Hales was able to convert that into some scoring opportunities.
Lucas O'Rear had 29 points, but again, the balance of Hales Franciscan turned the tide. We've got more basketball. We've got another quarterfinal session coming your way tonight. Eureka and Liberty, of course, at 6:30. Breeze Central against Winnebago. Kurt Pegler, Roger Lowe, Lee Hall, Matt Taphorn. For all those guys, I'm Jim Albrecht. We want to invite you back tonight. Enjoy your day, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the IHSA TV network.